Hello everyone. So in last class we started our discussion about ER diagram. So entity relationship diagram, we talked about what is entity and there are relationship between those entity types. So in the entity relationship diagram, we are going to we are going to represent the whole picture, the list of entity types and the relationship between those entities. So in today's class we are going to show you the step by step approach. First we are going to show you how to visualize, how to draw the entity diagram. Then we are going to show you how to draw the relationship between entities. So as we said that for this ER modeling, our input is the software requirement documents from the company. Okay. So from this plain English requirement, we are going to find out what type of entities what type of entity type we are going to need, and what will be their attributes. So let's start. All right. So the document said that we had a couple of the company is organized into departments. So we are going to track the list of departments. Okay, so we will have a entity, we'll have a entity type of department. So for the entity, we are going to represent the entity using this rectangular box, and each entity type will have a couple of attributes. Okay, and what will be the attributes? Let's find out. So each department will have a name, number, and an employee who manages the department, and we will keep track the start date of the manager, and the department may have several location. So we'll have name as an attribute, number attribute. We need a manager of the department, so we are going to have a manager. We'll also keep track the start date of the manager. Okay, so that means we need a attribute. So we are going to actually choose the name of the attribute as meaningful as possible. Manager start date. And a department can have several locations. Okay, so these will be our attributes. Now let's find out what other constraints from the attribute we have to take care of. So first of all, here what will be the key attribute? So for each department, we know the name will be unique. Okay, so we can say that the name will be unique, so the name will be a key attribute. And also number, each department will have a unique number. Okay, so number will be also unique attribute, means number will be also unique, so number will be also key attribute. So here we are going to have two key attribute. These two are here the key attributes. Okay, so that's the difference between the relational model. In the relational model, we explicitly said that like for each table, each relation has to have only one primary key. But don't be confused with the primary key to the key attributes. So if you think that one attribute is going to have a unique value for each record, that means it's a key attribute. And one entity type here, one entity type can have multiple attributes that can have unique value for each record. For example, here name and number. And here it says that a department may have several locations. Now it means that the location will be a multi-valued attribute. Okay, so we are going to use double oval here. All right, so that's our entity diagram for department table, or I should say department entity. Now let's think about project. So each department controls a number of projects. So means we need a entity type. So we are going to have a entity type project. Each project has a unique name, unique number. And is located at a single location. All right, so project number location. So it says, explicitly says, it's a unique name, means it will be a key attribute, unique number. So number will be also key attribute. So it's located at a single location, means each project will have only one location, means it's a single valued attribute. All right, so another thing is that here it says that each department controls a number of projects. Okay, each department controls a number of projects. Each project has a unique name, number, and location. So that means each project has a attribute, means each project needs another attribute controlling department, and each project will be controlled by only one department. Okay, each department controls a number of projects, so each project is being controlled by a one department. So we need another attribute like controlling department. It will be one name. I'm using underscore here, controlling department. So we need another attribute to understand which department is controlling this project. All right, so now let's find out how we're going to depict the entity diagram for employee. So this database will keep store of each employee record. So each employee has a name, social security number, unique, address, salary, sex, and birth date. So let's work step by step. Employee. So each employee will have name, SSN. SSN is unique for each employee, so it will be a key attribute. Address, salary, sex, birth date. All right, so each employee works for one department. Okay, so each employee works for one department, but may work on several projects. Okay, then there are a few other things. We keep track of the number of hours per week that an employee currently works on each project. Okay, and we also keep track of direct supervisor of each employee, means each employee will have couple of other attributes we have to take care of. Okay, so each employee needs a supervisor. All right, each employee works for one department. Each employee may also work on several projects. Each employee will work only for one department but several projects. Okay, means we are going to need, it's a big entity, so like projects, and this is going to be a multi-valued attribute. Okay, all right, Now what it says actually here, we also keep track of number of hours per week that an employee currently works on each project. Okay, so what we are going to do actually, we are going to make it like a work on attribute, and each work on attribute, it's a multi-valued attribute because each employee works on multiple project. Now each project, I mean each works on means actually there is related like which project they are working on, an hour for each project. Okay, so what we are doing, we are making the works on as a composite attribute, like each employee works on project and for each project it has a associated hour. So works on is a multi-valued attribute. For each works on there are two other component for each works on, project and hour. Okay, all right, so that part is done, and we keep track of the direct supervisor of each employee. Looks like this part is also done. And so each employee has a name, so we can think of like here it's also like our choice how we are going to do that. Like we can also divide the name into other compound, like we can make the name also a composite attribute. For example, the name, storing the whole name all together, we can like store the name as a composite attribute. For example, like we can do it like f name, m init, and l name. All right, so that's our entity diagram for employee. All right, so probably this is going to be our last entity. An employee can have dependents, so we are going to keep track of every dependent. So we'll have a entity type dependents. So for each dependent, the database will keep track of their first name, sex, birth date, and their relationship with employee. Okay, so each dependent will have their first name, sex, their birth date, relationship with the employee, and we need another attribute because each dependent is associated with the employee, right? So we need an attribute of the employee name, means which employee, I mean the dependent is the dependent of which employee. Okay, so employee should be the also attribute for this dependent. Okay, and obviously employee will be a single valued attribute because this dependent is dependent only for one employee. All right, so these are the list of entity these are the list of entity types, and we are just showing you the diagrams of each entities. Now in the next video we are going to show you the relationship between entities. So here you can see that we are actually drawing the entity by like as a independent entities, but each entities are related with each other. Okay, say for example, department has multiple projects and employees are working in the project, but from if we keep each of the entities independent, it's not going to be a clear view how these entities are related. So we have to visualize, we have to show each of the relationship also in our diagram, and we are going to do that in the next video.